doesn't necessarily mean we have to get into it, but it does mean.
Where's your pretty face? Where's your face?
Can you see me?
I gotta probably. No.
Yeah. See, I feel like a bit of a DJ on the turntables here because I've got the DM instance of Roll20 open on my right, which is when I look over here, the camera, and when I'm looking here is what you guys see and where my camera is.
I can't see you.
Oh.
I gotta figure this out. Because I turned it all off
Yeah.
a long time ago, so it's like.
I've done the same.
Oh, like you don't need to see me. I just do it for the recording, you know?
Oh, oh. Nope. I said I wanted to receive video, and it didn't let me receive video.
Did you get my message? So you wanted some of the information from me?
Yes, that was very good. Thank you. That's
Oh, brilliant.
it's been quite inspirational for down the line.
Fantastic.
Just excuse me a moment. Of course, I just realised then, of course, there's me muting my microphone to burp, and then like you could still see me all just like breaking wings. Alright, well this is looking good, Right, let's get rid of this. Cam, have you got the audio happening? Have you got that lovely relaxing waves and the pirate ship?
Just about. Hang on just a sec. Ooh. Oh wow, Discord is just being a total asshole. It's not even getting to the resources now. You know what? Fuck you, buddy. I'm doing this.
Be careful, man. You
I
can't
will tempt
badmouth
the
technology.
I will tempt the gods.
So, why don't we start off with? You see, it would only be Wayne who would benefit from the recap. So, Hannah, you literally just watched it, and the rest of you guys just lived it. So, I think I'll make a start. Why not? Like I say, 8:31.
Yep, go for it.
So, a new dawn breaks on the Kakusareta, and for the likes of Finn and Baron Samedi, you've been sort of plotting courses and trying to find out more with regards to the ship. From your experience, Finn, what's happened is basically you've been down in like the captain's quarters, talking with Baron Samedi, kind of unaware of what's really transpired top deck, as it were, and what you find, were you to come up to the deck, and what you guys see as well is basically, I think we left it with Tuval was unconscious on the deck, and now Klaus was on the deck, but I think dead. Well, no, Klaus wasn't there. I'm trying to.
No, Klaus is there, and you basically said he's like, sort of dead, and then someone else piped up with, I think it might have been Rain saying, but wasn't he dead already?
Yeah, so
he's there. He is there, but very unconscious.
He appears to be dead, but yeah, he's there. Like, he's unconscious and unrousable. That's the word. He cannot be woken for love nor money. Very similar to the sort of coma that was described by the Rajpashar about Escala and her crew, some of her crew. Rain is feeling a little bit under the weather. I suppose Duval is also feeling more worse so. And Dorfel is still sleeping like a baby for now. So you find yourselves on the deck of the Kakusareta. You're still in the cave mouth. what, if anything, would you like to do?
What would I like to do?
Yeah, like either of you, are you like planning a course? Are you going to talk to one another? For like mechanics wise, I would say, despite having a terrible night's sleep, you're all well rested, so you can all take the benefits of a long rest.
I thought we'd already done a day's worth of sailing. And we were on our way to Dukan. I can't even pronounce it.
Dukan.
Well, basically-
Bakarab.
Yes, Dukan Wakarab for Escala.
Yeah,
And then we were going to move on to Decalon Port to get some very special ink
that's right.
for rain.
For rain. Yeah. All right. So yeah, you're basically heading along, and now what's kind of a bit foreign to you, perhaps, is the fact that you spent the last week in a wet, dank cave, and kind of like the drow, you've kind of acclimatized to the darkness, and excuse me, and as you sort of leave the freshly opened cavern, so what has transpired, or what you can work out that has happened, is the cave entrance has sort of been cleared in true Goonies style, where where the tidal wave that you were able to outpace has basically cleared away this sort of entrance to the cavern, almost opening up the port for trade again. You've laden your ship, and Hannah very, very kindly created a like a quartermaster's log using a spreadsheet, wasn't it?
Google spreadsheets, yes.
So now you'll have a nice log of all the stuff that was either on your person or your loot, as well as any items that you may take on board to your ship. Silver tells you that you're looking, I think I said it's about 2 or 3 days in good weather to get to Dukan Wakarab, and sort of the first day passes kind of uneventful, and you basically get to relax and enjoy the warm tropical sun, and you realize how much you've missed the sun and the surface, and none of you can sort of imagine how the Underdark dwelling creatures can survive underground like that. The air is very warm, and the ship sort of is listing quite nicely. Silver is, if either any of you are kind of like logging onto the helm to be the helmsman, he kind of just has a bit of a chat to you, and everything going pretty well. It's on the second day. There's it's not quite as warm, and it's a lot more humid, and there's this sort of humid mist, and as you're going along, you see what on the distance what seems to be like a larger ship, and you sort of think, oh well, it looks quite big, and you kind of make a slight detour, but then you notice that however you start to track, it's kind of tracking towards you and almost making a beeline for you. What would you like to do at this stage?
I would like to have attuned to the ship, actually, earlier.
Okay, so you take the time to sort of plunge your hands into the chromatic orb, and or the metallic orb, should I say, and sort of systems come online, as it were, and you feel the consciousness of Silver kind of share your mind. What would you like to do?
I think
I just go ahead.
Oh no. That means you can probably hear me. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, small victory. Duval, all this time, although he's been very much happy to be back and to be kind of back among the living, he's a bit more withdrawn. He's definitely not what he was previously, and obviously appears a bit different as well. Seems a little bit almost stronger, but also a lot more pale, a little bit more reserved. But yeah, just kind of spending a bit of time on his own. But he's definitely going to be taking note of what's going on. This is all new to him. He hasn't met Silver, but he's gathering information. He's starting to figure it all out. So he's just sitting back and watching what Rain does.
And how has he been in this sort of day or so of consciousness? Is anyone relaying back to the rest of the crew what has happened? Because obviously Hannah's like blessed with hindsight with regards to what happened in the last episode. But how is Duval now? Is he like, oh, my friends, and like laughing and cheering, or is he much more sort of the Aragorn of the party?
A lot more. Yeah, at least he's not doing what's his name, Baromir. At least he's not dead. But he's being a bit. He's happy, but his smile seems pretty strained. It's like he's trying hard to be happy. Things are still amiss, but he's definitely a lot more pale, even though stronger, very pale. What was, once kind of very grey, shot through beard and long tousled hair is all kind of cowled over now, where his hair is a lot more jet black now, and his skin is more ashen. But yeah, just happy, but still definitely not himself.
So like a Dark Duval 2.0.
Yeah, he's gone a bit edgelord.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic. So Ray, you are attuned to Silver. Is there anything particular you want to do, being at the helm?
I suppose I could have, like the other day, just experimentally tried my fireball with the power of the dragon behind it.
Okay. Which direction are you sending this fucking insanely huge, and I can't say ball because it would literally be a cloud of fire. Which direction are you aiming this cloud of fire? And
straight into the open sea, just sort of like in the air above the water.
So you're behind you, or you're tracking to it, or off to your starboard or port? Or
we'll say I like to think he's left-handed, so port side.
Port side. Okay, so why not roll me that at a level 6, please?
I believe that's 6d6. So
Yeah, that's fucking
Believe
nuts.
so.
Rolling. Oh boy.
Oh god.
Ooh,
Only a 24. I thought it'd be more than that.
Yeah, well,
It's a couple of low rolls, but that's nice.
yeah.
Nice for a low roll.
That's yeah. So basically, as I explained, it's a really bloody hot day, and so what happens is, even though it's really stifling and humid, you send this like cloud of like immolation. You just kind of set it off exactly, and it goes off, and as it happens, you hear Silver kind of chuckle with joy as he's like almost like pleased to be performing these kind of things and being put to use, and he's kind of says, this is the life. I'm back on the ocean, and you seem to have treated me fairly so far. The quite a spectacle, that one, as it sort of goes whoosh, and just, even though it's some distance away, I think I said it triples the distance or something like that. You still, it's like someone opening an oven, and it's just like whoosh, and you're like, holy shit, this is a lot of power. So whilst you don't have well, you haven't found any cannons as such yet. You kind of think that perhaps you have at least a decent magical capacity. If there were
What did you say about cannons?
None yet.
We have a small cannon.
you have a small cannon. Oh, that's
have a
right. Yeah,
small
one on the front.
We have-
front.
Only one.
Huh.
Yep.
Notes for the win.
Notes for the win. Yes, more notes than the DM. Welcome aboard, Baron Samedi. It's good to see that he's made it in.
Aye.
And
Now-
he's repaired his C drive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
have you repaired
so-
that?
Uh,
On the C.
it says it did it itself, so okay.
Oh wow.
Uh-oh.
The night for technology.
Obviously, I'm a little behind as to what's going on, but can somebody create me an icon?
An icon? No, because you were not here.
I'm not
on
here.
this
Okay,
map.
cool. No worries. I'll just I'll just keep watching.
Now it's just Theatre of the Mind. We're currently on the ship. So, what's happened so far? Just for me to fill you in, I don't know whether you would have watched the little video that I put together, but basically, the very condensed version is Dorful, Rain, and Klaus were whisked away at Mask's behest onto a ship that sailed on an inky black ocean under a starless sky. They struck up a bit of a bargain. He explained that the thing that he'd asked you guys to steal for him was the Kakusareta. It does a bit of a reveal to show that he used to use the ship back in the day for his pirating, for a bit of a laugh, as gods would. And basically, they get teleported to the Shadowfell and do a little bit of creeping and searching and sneaking, catch up with a dusk hag who is pretty much very mean to them, but they're also equally mean back to her, and smack her on her ass. But before she goes down, a Gloomstalker swoops down and kind of stamps into the ground and tears her apart and kills her, and then they have to finish off the fight with the Gloomstalker. In the affray, at the last sort of moment, Klaus is made airborne and lifted and carried away by the Gloomstalker, and Rain makes his way through the Shadowfell to try and find Klaus's body, but his body isn't found. And then what happens in the morning that Baron Samedi is aware is that you and Finn have been talking in the cabin's quarters about planning your journey, trying to find information about Dukan Wakarab, where you're headed, and talking a bit to Silver. So the guys wake up, and on deck above you, Duval has appeared, and Klaus is in a comatose state, unrousable beside him. Rain looks very sort of mentally drained, and Dorful, because he's not here today, is still asleep. And that's pretty much where we stand. So you've been at sea for about a day. You've still maybe got like 2 to 3 days of sea journey ahead of you. And Rain has molded, he's the helmsman at the moment, and he has bonded with Silver, who is currently enjoying helping Rain experiment with fireballs, or should I say fire clouds of epic proportion.
Who is Silver?
Silver is the dragon
A ship.
spirit. So the ship is called the Kakusareta. It's what it was called before Silver was bound to the ship. But Silver is the personality within the Kakusareta. Silver is the dragon spirit.
Perfect. Makes sense. And are we back on the prime? Sorry, are you? Is the ship on the prime material?
So yeah, whether Cam, you just want to quickly describe Duval, just again, for Baron?
Oh yeah, sure. Quick one. So yep, he's back. He's a bit more pale, a little bit more ashened. Not so much sporting grey hairs now, just kind of back to jet black. Seems oddly withered yet stronger. Definitely a bit different, a little bit more forlorn and a little bit more. He's trying to be happy, but he's still seeming a little shaken up about it all. But where are we heading to now? We're heading back to, or not, one spot before Calimport, right?
Yes, you're heading to Dukan Wakarab. Let me just find my notes and I can post. So you're headed to Dukan Wakarab because Rain has an interest there, as well as obviously you guys, those of you who know Captain Escala, because the Raj Pasha Tarfani. Why do I come up with these names? Let me post this. Raj Pasha Tarfani. I'm just going to paste that there for you, so you can. He's like the big swinging dick for the Dukan Wakarab, and that is like a small port town. If Calimport was Perth, then Dukan Wakarab is Fremantle. So not far away, does a lot of port trade, and part of the Calimport or Calimsham Empire. Is that everything?
I think so.
Alright, this notepad's uncomfortable. So currently, basically, Rain's been squeezing some triggers. Now, the start of the morning, it's a lot more humid than the day before. I was saying that you've really started to enjoy being up in the surface again, and you don't even mind that you're at sea and like you're shaking on the ship. On the second day in the morning, you see some big white sails. It's hard to really make out with the naked eye what this ship is or what flags they're flying. But it's on the horizon, and as you kind of track to sort of start to avoid it, you notice that it adjusts its course to still make heading for you. And yeah, we jump back into the seat in real time where Rain has just literally let an enormous one off.
Well, when you put it like that.
Sounds healthy.
Do we have a distance?
You would say, because it's obviously feet and miles and stuff, it's a good, I'd say about 1,000 foot away. So it's quite some distance. It sounds a lot, but a lot of your things come into effect at around about 500. So it's on the, it's on the horizon, but it's definitely noticeable, and it's, like I say, been tracking towards you all this time. From the naked eye, it's still too far away to really be able to see much detail about the ship.
Does anyone have means of being able to identify eyeglass anything?
How far is this ship?
It's about 1,000 foot away.
Is it making same time as us?
Yeah, you know that thing, like in maritime, where as you move, the nose of your ship still remains in the same degree as the nose of their ship, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So even though your distance is shortening between, you're both staying at the same position, which is a sign that they're tracking you. They're not turning away, and they're kind of turning to have their guns down the side of the ship towards you, sort of slowly.
Okay, Duvar, with a bit of background in sailing, being a sailor, is definitely going to take a bit of concern with that, seeing it as being pretty much passive-aggressive. Going to kind of make his way past and just kind of pat the Baron on the shoulder as he walks on past and nods to Finn and walks up to Rain and says, I think I have an idea to speed up our journey. If you don't mind, I would like to try something.
Be my guest.
It's puts his hand into the device and kind of nods, and I think I should introduce myself. I think you are Silver, but I have an idea. Maybe everybody hang on to something.
As you do this, the Baron puts his hand on your shoulder. And he says, may the kiss of Papa Legba guide you.
It's a kiss I've missed. It's good to hear your voice again, friend.
And he casts guidance on you.
Nice. So, I'm going to try something interesting. As I meld my hands into Silver, I am going to cast Expeditious Retreat, which I'm not sure why they call it Retreat. They should just call it Go Real Fast. So basically, as a bonus action, Silver is going to be able to dash. So if he wants to basically double dash for the next 10 minutes straight, he should be able to burn a fair amount of speed.
Yeah, indeed. Now, somewhere, I think Hannah, I haven't had, unfortunately, time to call up the stat block for the Kakusereta. But what I shall do is, that's this one. Basically, despite a good wind, you almost feel like the what is it like? It's like the ship wants to just take off. Suddenly, it just picks up and the wave just licks, and what was just a gentle kind of undulation of the water suddenly just becomes almost like a rushing waterfall as Silver just picks up speed, and for the duration the spell just kind of pangs it, absolutely fangs it, kind of towards, and I guess, are you heading to cut this ship off, or what's happening?
I think it is bigger than we are and probably has cannons, and we don't quite have cannons yet. So it's going to be outrun. It's going to be hightail.
Right, so I get to play ships now, which is great. Sort of.
Why is there three? Why is there multiple men?
Hey?
Why is there more than?
Eat humans.
Oh, you know, that's just an encounter that you're speeding past. So basically, oh shit, that's the other ship. Yeah, so you as you pass, the reason I'm showing you this map, otherwise I would have cut out of it, is you basically come in very close. As you come in close, like within this distance, because obviously to avoid them, you're aware that it's a ship, and on the side it says the Obsidian Python. It's flying the flags of True Fleet. Now I get everyone to roll me a perception quickly.
How close do we get?
The choice is yours, but as you get, whether it's this close or if you're just keeping us safe out of cannon's distance, you will be able to see what I'm about to tell you. So.
Even though I don't have great perception, I'm gonna just kind of note, I remember those bastards. Do we want to pay them a visit?
Yeah.
More enemies of yours. I seem to be getting cannonballs for all your assorted foes.
So the two things
Guess
that
we're
you
just like
notice,
people like that.
what Dorful sort of pipes in with his actually physically insane passive perception, is that he reckons he can hear moaning coming from the hull, and visually, what he spots is yeah.
Hell's Gone Wild, episode 57.
Pirates Gone Wild. Yeah, they seem to be shouting and like shaking their fists at you. I think they were spoiling for a bit of a fight. As you recall, the True Fleet are like a poly club. They're a human poly club who are just sort of pro-humans and think badly of other races and think that they have no position basically in Faerun or on Toril. They shake and wave their fists at you, seeing that you are a smaller looking vessel. And what Dorful points out is that a couple of the guys seem to be, they're like humanoids, but they're covered in like a tar, which is really strange, the guys at the back. But it's up to you. You're literally tearing past them. At this point,
I feel like the need to set them on fire as we go past.
I can
I'd be more than happy.
Finn and Duval, I will get you to roll me a intelligence. If there's anything specific to your shipwright skills, but I think just generally an intelligence with advantage.
Okay, straight intelligence.
And I'll roll for Dorful as well while he's not here. Let me just call him
I've
up.
got it down as a wisdom stat. But okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, I'll
No, it's
do
intelligence.
it, even though my intelligence is terrible. Oh!
Oh,
So she thinks.
holy shit. Well,
Ow!
you don't even need Dorful to chime in here, although he's the guy giving you advantage for these rolls. When you're whizzing by, you're like, hang on, the Obsidian Python, that rings a bell, and you're the one that just pipes up and says, it's a fucking slave ship. And you're like, it's a slave ship. And that's what the moaning is.
Duval buys in. He
We have to
wants
stop.
he wants to hit it.
We have to stop. We're not hitting it with our ship.
Oh
Some
no.
common sense.
We got some better ideas than that.
Good.
What you guys are aware is that the hands on deck seem very sparse. Like there's not a full complement there. And also strange that you can hear, like, is it moaning or is it like something more panicked as you sort of get very close? What you choose to do is entirely up to you.
You mentioned there were some guards. Did you say on deck who were covered in tar?
Let me just bang them up here. Here we are. These guys at the back here.
All four?
They sort of seem to be staggering around. No, just these back two. They seem to be staggering around, somewhat like blindedly, I suppose, blinkedly. The
Because
rest.
if I did something that was was fire damage, would they catch on fire?
The men or the ship?
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah. You generally know that ships are generally tried to keep as dry as they possibly can, and human beings generally will catch on fire quite nicely.
Okay.
But as to how this whole scenario, I mean, I don't know what you're planning on doing, but yeah.
I'm gonna
So
offer
what is
the
it?
helm back to Rain and see if Rain, would you like to try some of those tricks out again?
You mean unleash destructive magics worthy of an Archmagus upon an enemy vessel?
Just the top bit.
Is that your knuckles I can hear cricking?
Oh, you drive a hard bargain, but you know I can be persuaded. I'm not unreasonable.
Okay, well, in that case then, I'm going to need you to all roll me... How is this going to work? Yeah, roll me initiative, please.
Oh, cool. Oh, I might need my token.
Tracker.
Do you have the tracker out?
Oh, yeah, let me... Okay. Because it's not Klaus now. Let's give it to Klaus. Bear with. here. We shall get the mighty Duval. And placed him here. Have you appeared? Yeah, there you are.
Okay.
You're out to sea.
Nice. Oh, he's probably got his health back as well.
So yeah, just top up your health. I think you
Yep,
should
easy
have
done.
control over that.
Just be aware we can't see how much health he has. Like we can see the bar, but not how many hit points, nor can we see his name.
Oh, okay. I'll make that visible. Yeah. Should be visible to editors. Visible to everyone.
Ooh, look at this dex roll.
There we go. Can you see that now?
You're looking a little different and a little scarier.
We can see his hit points, not his name. I think you have to click enable, like as a tick box, enable nameplate.
Yeah, that is enabled.
And then maybe below that, just viewable by everyone.
Unless it's hidden in the... Oh, yeah, no, actually, this is good. I've got the both views. Let me see what you're seeing.
You know, it's not there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a big pile of cock. I don't know why that is. It's there.
So the tick box has got enable nameplate and it's written in there, and then there's like visible to everyone below that.
Control bar. Visible to everyone. Visible to everyone. Visible to everyone.
And then be like a tick box where it says enable nameplate. Is that ticked?
Yeah, it's ticked. But it's just there's nothing underneath. The next bit literally just says controlled by Duval.
Is it is his name actually in the actual? Has he actually put it into the token?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is. I can
I-
see it in the token.
Your name's in there. You can see it, can you?
He
Yeah,
can.
I can.
We
I can
can't.
see it, but it's.
It's really
You can
odd
see it,
because I've got two instances of it open. I've got the DM instance and I've got the player version, which is the one I'm recording. And as a player, I can't see it, but as a DM, I know it's
DM.
all good. So
Yeah, it's like one small setting. It's just one setting, but it's always a pain in the ass to find it.
yeah. How's that?
Yep,
Yay.
that's it.
Player permissions. It's under player permissions, which is not something that you would expect.
Mental note.
Every day is a school day. And we won't worry about Dawful, although everyone knows Dawful is Dawful. He's going to be there. I better call up his character sheet quickly. Talk amongst yourselves, formulate a bit of a plan. Like I say, what you see on deck is what's there. Also, what I will point out is the likes of Finn and Duval, who have somewhat of a maritime background. This ship is kind of waning. You know, like, you know that these things can be fast, they can be maneuverable, but it's just like it's almost like it's listing. It's not quite. It's like it's under capacity.
Is that?
That's all I can really say about that. Call up Dawful.
Well, that's all coming together. Duval's going to draw his longsword. His trusty longsword. Still got it. And it's just going to mention, get me within 15 feet and I'll get myself on board.
Hey, nice.
Oh god damn it.
So these guys.
Oh.
To roll.
I love it that I just literally rolled an 8, then a 9, then a 10.
And then
Better than a 1.
Dawful
Yeah.
needs to go.
Can I keep the 10?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, I'll roll again, but I want that 19.
Wow, Dawful is on point. Okay, we've got Duval, we've got Finn, we've got Dawful, and I just need Rain.
I have to roll again. Okay, hang on. Here it comes.
Oh, 14. Hey, it's better than my 8.
Well, I got a 19 the first time. I want to use that.
Much better.
Okay. And the Baron. And anyway, actually, let's all just like hold up a minute. Wayne, how are you feeling? Are you feeling any better now?
Next question.
Oh. Oh.
I still don't feel.
Baby.
I still don't feel great.
Oh shit.
I mean, better than before. I mean, yeah. And I am in the same state as you, so hey.
You COVID positive.
No, I had a test and everything, despite the fact that I was never in New South Wales or Queensland.
They've still found it over there.
I was in Victoria.
And?
I had a test, there's no COVID.
They like to be pedantic with their stuff.
Yeah, but even if I had a test, it didn't mean anything. If you answered
Yeah.
yes to any questions, they
exactly
basically
right.
they didn't want to let you in.
Oh
Wow.
right.
So it's an
Oh,
algorithm. It's an
jerks.
algorithm. There's no actual person when you make your
Yeah.
application. There's no actual person looking at it.
Oh really?
Jeez.
It's just an algorithm. Like, the answer came back no quicker than and I just hit the send button. Like, I'd written a story, I put a thing in, I uploaded my COVID results. Nah, you've got a cough. You must have COVID.
Oh, God.
I said, you've been rejected. You have signs of COVID. When you feel better, put in your application. It's like, I've got a cough, for God's sake. A quarter from a 7-year-old.
Oh shit. Did you have a nice
If
time
you've
over
got
there
a
though?
fever.
Up until I got sick.
Yeah.
There's certain things I can't say on a show that might be recording on the off chance that I should be found out later by family members. So, you know, I will happy to let you know more in person at some point.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
So everyone's in for the initiative now. Apart from Baron Samity, you seem to have the jump on these guys. Rain, you seem to be standing tall at the top of the list. You are currently helmsman. What would you like to do?
Okay, I call out to the crew, my team members, be like, "Oh, are we attacking this ship or are we waiting for them to come to us? What's the idea here?"
Duval's just gonna wave and say, and point in the direction of the ship. We're on the offensive. Go and do your magic.
How far away is the ship?
Well, let's just say it's whatever the map is saying here at the moment. So that is, it's about 100 foot away. Which is,
Oh,
you know, like.
I scrolled to the right. I was like, "Oh shit, they're right there." Okay. Well,
I
perfect.
can reposition the ship and you guys if you want to be like up here. Oh, hang on. Oh, fuck's sake. If you guys want to be up here, then I can move you up here. Ping me where you want your ship to be because obviously you're going so fast. You literally can be anywhere on this map.
Ooh, nice.
Up there.
100 foot serves me just fine.
Okay. Is everyone else happy with the position, or do you want me to rotate you or anything, or?
We could even be 150 feet away. I would have range. It's up to you guys.
Yeah, Duval will let you unleash first and then get closer.
Oh, certainly. Well, in that case, Rain will look very pleased, clutching his his fulminating spellbook codex, and with one hand on, the orb with the silver dragon spirit, and he's like, "Yes, things are looking up, Rainavam," and cast a 6th level fireball in the center of their ship, just to catch the whole crew, really, all 8 of these guys.
Wow. Okay. Roll it up.
Oh, a couple of 1s in there.
Oh no.
Terrible.
18.
Oh. But hey, that's unleashed on an entire group. That's pretty nice.
That is.
I mean, yes, it's like 16, it's 18 times 8, so, fair enough.
Jesus.
18 times 8. Oh, 8 guys. Yeah. Oh, and let's not forget the sails and the
Yes.
hull. And I'd say even the... see what I did with this one? When you can tell I had lots of time last week and not so much time this week. Up here, can you see this?
Yeah.
This is basically... If you click on them, you can see... Hang on. Yeah? You can see that you've got
I
your
can't
hull...
click on them.
Uh,
It can't see their edits, but that's okay.
Nope, can't see anything. Maybe it needs to be enabled for us to do it?
yeah. Hey,
Because
yeah.
if so, my plans will change to weirder things.
And then... That's good. Yeah. Okay, so I'm bragging about how much time I've had to do all this, but half a job. Okay, visible to everyone. Yeah, this roll 20 is interesting. Can you see that now on the Capaciretta?
Negative. You can see the word sales, but nothing else.
Okay. That's...
So,
visible to everyone.
Oh.
Sorry, I've just got to really smash through this. Visible to everyone. Man, why don't they make it just like one button?
so, who can swim?
Technically, not like you, that's for sure.
Swimming's for other people.
I'm a ranged caster. I don't need to swim. I'm perfectly capable of killing them all from over here.
Just gonna continue wreathing flames on them from afar.
I just have a rapier I'm really keen to use.
Oh, nice.
We got the same one. Well,
Yes.
sorry, Klaus had it.
That's it. It's now a toothpick for a bloody gloomstalker somewhere.
Okay, so as basically Rain unleashes all immolating hell onto the deck, everyone starts writhing around in agony. It's quite a horrific sight to behold, to be honest. Like the ship's hull definitely seems to have it's like shrugging it off. It's just a bit of surface damage. It's no problem. The sails, the corners, you would say, some of the canvas is light, but definitely still able to be manoeuvred. The most ultimate of warning shots ever. As far as the people go, they are all still standing, but they are all on fire. Except it is for the two back here, at the back of the ship. They are on fire, but they aren't flapping around as if they're on fire, which is a bit bizarre. So these tar-like humanoid shapes are not as what's the word, angst ridden by being set on fire. But that's Rain's turn. You've pretty much softened them up. You've definitely got their attention, and it brings us to Dorful. Dorful is going to, I think he's going to cast a spell. Now generally what I do with my characters when they aren't here, with my players when they aren't here, is just make them in a defensive capacity. So he's going to cast, he's going to cast Fairy Fire on this guy at the back here. Again, I've got two instances. So this guy here. Oh no, he's not. He's out of range. Because it's 60. Alright. Suddenly learning your character on the fly. Here we are. He's going to cast Scorching Ray, because it's the only one that reaches, and he's going to just fire it into the hull of the ship. Fuck's sake. 2d6. And the hull takes 10 points of damage. So where he hits, it basically like this big wet thunk as this hot fire just like starts to burn up the side of the hull. It seems to take for a while, and could be a problem later down the line, unless the waves get to it. That brings us to Finn.
Oh, it's not scrolling through. So were we able to do things if we clicked on the buttons, or does it just say like hull, sails, and helm?
I put them there so you could monitor the integrity of the vital parts of the ship, basically, and I will be doing it better down the line. So you can basically see like, there's no point getting on board this ship because it's like 10%, before it's fucked. It's like 80% destroyed. But because sometimes you might want to salvage a ship, sometimes you might want to just like destroy it, or sometimes you might want to focus on disabling it. So disabling it would mean aiming for the helm or aiming for the sails. Or if you wanted to sink a ship, then you aim for the hull. Or you could then focus on the people, leaving the ship intact. You know what I mean? I wanted to give you a few more options when it comes to maritime warfare.
Nice.
Do you say
Very nice.
focus on the helm?
Yeah, so
We
the helm,
want to say.
each ship has a helm, and it's really weird. It's down here, but a bit further down. Can you see that?
No.
Down here? Can't see that? Zoom out a little bit more.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the helm. So that's a certain thing that takes damage, and obviously, like, the helm controls the direction. So you could outrun something because it can only go in a set direction. If you destroy the helm, if you destroy the sails, then it grinds to a halt. You could outrun it. You can run rings around it and board it. You know what I mean? I wanted to give you some more options, some flexibility when it comes to sieging a ship.
I would like to. It's gone now. Oh no, there we go. Had to scroll out. I'm going for the helm. We want to rescue the people. By identifying it as a slave ship, we want to help the people. Well, I want to help the people on board.
We killed the crew.
Kill the
ship
rest.
is out. Oh yeah, we killed the currently
Kill the current
occupying
crew. I mean, how many of us would they leave alive? Wait,
Yeah, it's common
Deval
knowledge
and
that
Rain, are
they-
you guys human?
They would
human.
only enslave the humans given as there's only 2 of you, and the rest of you just probably be thrown to the sharks or just killed on sight.
Well, I'm going to, because we've only apparently that close with the ship, I'm going to just get to about, yeah, because I think that's about as far as I can go. Gotta figure this out. I'm basically just gonna, because my aim is I'm going to go, yeah. So I'm there,
Oh wow!
ready to swan. I can go 30 feet, and that's about it.
All right. Also,
And I guess
will
I
point out
can
that the waves.
dash.
Yeah.
So I could get to about there.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
'cause
you were saying
swimming.
about the waves.
Oh yeah, so the waves aren't quite as tragic or nasty looking as that. Obviously, it's quite a calmish day. Like I say, it's very humid, and usually humidity makes it very flat.
Yep. Well, that's about as far as I can get because I got a whole 30 feet, and then I can dash, and that's it.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Finn?
So wait, did we intentionally set the ship on fire?
It's early days. You have literally 3 seconds. You've got 3 seconds of fire. Whether you...
Rain,
Whether
did
it
you
takes-
set the ship on fire?
The sails would have caught fire, but it's not severe.
Yeah.
I don't,
it's-
yeah, it's
I won't worry about it too much then.
Like I say, if
Okay.
because you can't see it, and I've done everything in my power in this short time to try and make you be able to see it. The sails currently look like they're at about 82% integrity. The hull is about 282% integrity, and the helm is 82% integrity.
Yeah, I'm headed for the helm. I'm making my way, swimming over to the helm.
All right.
And I guess I will... No, that doesn't really help me. I guess I'm just going to use shape water, and all it's going to do is like move me another 5 feet towards my destination.
So you like surfing? You're like the Silver Surfer. That's all like surf's up, dudes.
No, I'm swimming. It's just like the water's just giving me a little nudge.
No. You water ganassi. Alright, cool beans. Duval, what would you like
Yep.
to do?
Is going to follow suit and dash and jump straight into the water, following suit right behind Finn.
You are so brave.
Just gonna launch off, jump in, and just go for it. Try and keep up with the water ganassi.
Okay, well, I think I need... No, next round I'll get you to roll me a swimming, like, athletics, isn't it?
Cool.
And so, yes, this brings us to the bosuns. Meet the bosuns. So basically what happens is you have all of their attention. The watchman starts coming towards, and they all start lining up. You notice this guy here, the one I'm just moving? I can't see that. He's not quite as quick on his feet. And these two fall behind. But again, these tar-looking humanoids, they just sort of stand there and shamble closer to the rest of the group, to the rest of the crew that's on board. And none of them are magic users. And at this stage, it looks like they're readying the small arms along the side of the cannon, but that takes a little while because they're crap. And that brings us back to the Baron.
Is our ship travel closer, or are we still this distance away?
It will. You'll have the option to be able to maneuver it next turn, like at the end of your turn.
Alright. Okay, so Van will move. He'll move to the front of the ship. And then he will cast, really cast, Eldritch Blast. Viper's Blast,
Viper's
120
Blast.
foot radius. So he will shoot at this one over here, hit him with 2 bolts.
Oh. Yeah, so 23 definitely hits.
Take 7 points of damage. And then the next bolt, I'm a class 18 for another 9 points of damage.
And it was this guy here. He basically, ping him out for me. This guy.
Yep, that's him.
He basically whilst he's trying to ready a gun and pat out the fire that's burning him, he basically gets his mind blown apart. How would you like to do this?
It's just, essentially I send out this massive, like, snake force of snake, and it just, as it hits him, it then goes around him, crushes him, and he explodes into a whole bunch of different bits.
Awesome, yeah, so he basically drops down dead, and doesn't seem to put up much of a fight, obviously, because there's not much he can do. Now you guys have the, basically, I would say we're acting on behalf of Silver, or the Kakusureta. So, Rain, you're in charge of the Kakusureta. So, as the rest of the crew are sort of within earshot to some extent, you can talk to them as to where you want to position the ship. But if there's times when it's just you in charge, you'll have full control of the ship, and it might not be what everyone wants, but you know what I mean? So, where would you like to move the ship?
Do I get the sense that my teammates want the ship closer for support?
Generally speaking, you don't have much of a maritime knowledge, but you are still quite bright. So I'm going to say that you can do it. What you get the idea is that your friends, once they're on board, obviously the optimist in you is like, and they win or whatever happens. They're going to still need to safely get back on board ship, and if the ship is like closer, then that's going to help them.
Yeah, I will move the ship closer, maybe like half the distance or something.
Okay, do you want the mainsail to be facing to the north, like this way, or facing down that way? You can't see it. Oh god. This way.
We'll have the ships parallel, I suppose.
Okay.
Okay.
Come about.
Yes, it's sort of like if we had an array of cannons, this is what we would have to do. But it's but we lack. But
We have one
I am
cannon.
basically the cannon, so.
Very arguably better than a cannon.
Oh, thank you.
It's the nicest thing
that's
someone
true.
said all day.
I mean, it's true because I can spare the ship, right? Whereas a cannon is indiscriminate.
That's right.
Okay, so I can't find the minuscule pin that basically lets me rotate the ship. But imagine that the ship is slightly rotated to come aside, you know?
I like
Yep,
it
yep.
where it is. We can still ram.
And like, you're so fast, so you can even just go zoop. You're literally Speedy Gonzales outrunning a tortoise at the moment. Because like I say, the ship isn't to capacity.
And from what I can see, are all the enemies, like they're all enemies, they're all hostile. They're not, say, slaves being forced to work the ship. They do appear to be slavers.
Definitely with slave ships, you know that security is very tight, and the True Fleet are very cruel in as much as they they're renowned for being good slavers, so they wouldn't have anyone even performing menial tasks on board.
I see. Oh, this makes it so much easier on my conscience, and I will fire another fireball into. I will catch all of them except this guy at the furthest edge. So all the rest of them are within a fireball's range, and I will bend the fire so that it only burns the people and spares the structure of the ship.
That's so epic. I can really just imagine that. Just like this massive like gout of flames just like appears and starts to looks like it's going to engulf the whole ship, and then suddenly it just bends and swirls and moves out of the way like flame tornadoes happening and shit. That's awesome. Okay, roll up that damage.
Some people disparage the school of evocation, but when you have power and control, such wondrous things you can accomplish. Oh, wait, I messed up earlier, because it's fireball, so it's at level 6, it's actually 8 plus 3. So I rolled like much fewer dice than I should have done. That's why it was so.
You were just putting your gloves on, so
Yeah, I rolled 66 because I derped. I thought it was like shatter or something, but it should have been like 11d6.
oh yeah.
So should I just roll extra d6 now, or?
Yeah, roll what it should be this time. You were just getting a feel. Like, it's still early days with Silver. It's not like you're going to have a true bond. Yeah, I'd go with, go full damage this time.
Sure.
The slave ship is sitting very low in the water, by the way.
Now this is much more respectable.
Oh, yes, it is.
Just an almighty and ungodly explosion of fire.
Okay.
Love the smell of napalm on the ocean.
Basically, happens all over the deck.
I know. Where I shoot out like this skull of like orange and blue fire, and it explodes, but it reaves around and burns people, and they all fall like screaming. And then, but instead of like touching any wood, I just sort of close my fist, and it sort of like shrinks back down and disappears instead of setting anything on fire. It's just the bodies burning.
Beautiful.
Okay, well, what happens now is, as you basically annihilate the deck, being a slave ship, there's not really, obviously you've got your water supplies and some basic storage, which all just emulates and is catching on fire quite nicely. The two, like, oily-looking humanoids, basically the tar kind of peels away from the bodies and drops to like pools on the floor, and the bodies just basically it's a disgusting looking thing. They look like they've been singed like by acid. They're like half desiccated and like dissolved by acid. But then also, like, if you were to boil something, the cadavers look pretty nasty for those that can see. But these big oily patches just kind of seem to sort of pulsate on the ground, and there's 4 of them, and I'm just going to bring them into play. Now, currently, that's your turn, Rain. So, these guys, I'm just going to clear the board a little bit, so you guys know what you're working with. Let's do that. Okay. dead. So this ominous-looking black ooze seems to be basically all it's been able to do at this point is separate itself from its host, and is currently very much, I'd say, out of sight for most of you on the deck. So for all intents and purposes, you seem to think that basically, apart from the bodies that are burning on the deck, no one else has come out top deck, top side yet. And that brings us to Dorful. What Dorful's going to do is make his way to the front of the ship, along with everyone else, for a really good look. And his perception is so good that he actually points out and shouts to the rest of you. He says, "There seems to be something on the deck, but I can't work out what it is." And that's all he can do, basically. So that's his turn. Now, Finn, your turn.
Okay, so we are going to keep moving, and just... Which I get to the ship this time. This is where the stupidity comes into play. I'm basically going to swim up to the ship. I don't know if the DM's going to allow this, but anyways. Yeah, I'm going to swim up to the ship and sort of in a way hop out of the water. And for my action, I guess, I want to... So I've got an arrow in one hand to sort of like stab and hold on to the ship. But I'm going to reach up as high as I can, so over the waterline, and I want to attempt to tear a hole in the ship. Or punch a hole, whichever the DM will allow.
Okay.
But the whole thing is, I'm trying to get into the below decks, and missing the top deck. Will you allow it?
The ship if you put your hole in it.
I'll make you. You can make me a strength attack roll, please. So that will be like with your fists, so bludgeoning, unarmed strike.
Okay.
Youch.
Which is only, yeah, so it's a 24 to hit, but it's only for 6 damage, because it is just an unarmed strike. I go.
Being very thick timbers, they shudder a lot, and for the first time, you can hear shrieks and like not like shrieking sail shrieks, but you can hear like panicked voices and whispers. Like people are like talking to one another and raised voices in a multitude of different languages. They're concerned, and for a moment, because you're so strong, I think they get that. You get the impression that they think maybe they've been rammed. But as far as damage goes to the hull, you just move a few planks, but unfortunately, no real splinters as of yet.
Okay.
So that's your movement.
Says I can
try.
attack again with a different live weapon, but I can't punch again. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, what was that?
You try and my go to blast a small hole open. Potentially. If that's what you want.
Yes, please. I'm basically trying to get to the lower decks because my care factor for all the people who've disappeared on the top deck is nil.
Okay, that would bring us to Duval then. Would you like to...
Alright. He's going to keep on swimming, and he's going to go for his 30 feet of movement. But once he gets to this point here, up on deck, just in front of, or this position here where Finn is, DM, could I get you to pop in a second token for me?
Oh, yes. I'll go and grab it for you. 1 second.
So while Duval's kind of swimming over and kind of can see what Finn's getting up to and thinks, okay, you go down, I'll go up. And as he's kind of keeping pace with the boat, you just see him kind of outstretch a hand up towards the deck of the boat, and you see small, dark kind of conflagration of shadow just kind of apparate up on the deck.
Here we go. My bad. I was like, I know I put it in there like last week. It appears where?
Just in this hex next to Finn, up on deck.
What did you manifest Duval, sorry?
Ah.
Okay, I'll give you control. I'm sure you already have. Does it have a name?
No, it doesn't really need a name. Well, I guess its name is Duval.
Oh boy.
No,
Control
you two have been plotting.
Plotting's the best.
Everyone can see it. Visible to everyone. See. Visible to everyone. Save settings. Can you see all of that?
Yep, that's all there, and I can move it.
Okay, so do you want to roll his initiative? Oh no, it'll take initiative next turn.
Yeah, it shares the same initiative as I do.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's great. Alright, so that is your action, isn't it, Duval?
That's it. Yeah, that's all he's got. He's moved over, and that was his bonus action, so he's tapped. He's done for now.
Very nice. So that brings us to the Baron. What would you like to do?
How far's the ship?
I'd say it's close enough now that it's a good sort of like 15, maybe 30 foot. You've come real sort of quite close to it. I'll still continue to try
Okay.
and turn the ship around.
And you said there was something on the deck that we can see, or we can't see anything?
As you come so close now, you can see like this oily sort of residue pulsating,
Where?
having just sort of parted from the
Where?
host bodies. They
Where?
are over here.
Oh, okay. Alright, Baron's gonna 30-foot misty step onto the deck.
Oh, that's so fucking nails!
Nice.
That's so cool!
Alright, he turns around, he smiles at Rain, and then he just, like, steps out onto the, onto the ocean below, but before he falls, he, misty steps across to the bow of the ship. And then, and then he starts, then he summons the essence of the various snake abilities and sends a Viper's Blast to one of these oily things.
Okay, light him up. Which one are you aiming for?
I'll just go to the one that's closest. This one.
Alright, yeah, go for it.
I'm a class 21 for 14 damage.
Oh, it absolutely hits home, like a surgical precision, slams into the oily creature, and it's, what damage is it? It's
14 force damage.
14 force damage. Yeah, it doesn't much care for that.
Well, here comes another one. Oh, I'm a class 9. Is it a really dexterous ooze, or is it a non-dexterous ooze?
It's a highly undexterous ooze. You basically seem to slap it, and you think it's going to miss. Like it's a real fishtailer as it comes curling out of your hands, but it still managed to hammer home. These things just are not built for
it's like
agility.
It's like he walked into it, basically.
Yeah, it jumped out the way. You like double tricked it, and it was like and then you went slam. Yeah.
Alright, so it takes another 9 points of force damage. What do we? That's a total of 23.
23. Oh, that's great. Please do the maths. That really helps.
Yep. How's it looking? Still alright?
Oh yeah, it's going pretty good.
Alright, I'm comfortable where I am, so then I pass.
All right. Yeah, it's these things like despite being easily to hit, they are pretty healthy. And that would bring us to the top of the round. So now you can basically maneuver the ship if you want to sort of draw out, I guess, because I can't find the pin to move the ship. If you want to draw out how the ship is facing, you can basically show me where you want to maneuver it. Rain, you're obviously helmsman still, but what would you like to do with your turn? Unless there's anything else you want to do, Baron. Like,
Finn and Duval able to get onto the ship now? Was the point of conjuring that thing so that it could lift them up, or does Finn still need a hole in the hull?
or you can really only go by what you've seen. So what you've seen is this mysterious sort of shadowy image of Duval appear on deck. Literally, Finn has just clawed her way up out the ocean, out the water, and started punching the side of the ship. And Duval is still swimming towards the same sort of spot. So you have to interpret that as.
So in that case, I will take the ship even closer, like parallel to the ship, as close as feasible, basically.
See, the good
So
thing
it's like, you know,
the good thing about being bound to the helm as the helmsman and being able to talk with Silver is you're able to give him much better an idea, because you share that mind link. You're able to give him a much better idea of what you want to do, and so it means you can get fucking insane amounts of control and things you couldn't do with a normal ship. You're able to do with the Kakusureta, basically. So you come in at times you're almost even just like 4, maybe even 3 foot from the ship as you slowly sort of glide past, and as you're focused and as you're the helmsman, you're able to almost move the Kakusureta like a, what's the word? You have a symbiosis with it, like you have a mind link, so you can anticipate the ship, the enemy ship, and you can kind of move out of the way. It's almost like it becomes part of your body. As you play Shadowrun, it's like you're a rigger and you're controlling your drone. It's like you sort of really get into it, you know.
Very nice.
And so yeah, you have basically perfect control. Being a helmsman, you would not have such good control if no one was at the helm. So turn the ship. You can draw it if you like, or we can just imagine that it's sort of coming down very close, like very close.
Yeah, like basically 5-foot gap kind of thing.
Yeah,
So it's like Finn and possibly Duval would just left bobbing in the water between the two ships if Duval surfaces. But I will also extend a hand and send a bowling ball size crackling orb of lightning as I cast Shatter in a controlled way, like a controlled shatter to just punch a hole in the deck next to Finn.
Alright, okay, roll the damage.
So that is at
In the
6th level, an ungodly number of
Deck
d8s.
or side of the ship?
What was that?
Is it in the side of the ship or on the deck?
Inside of the ship where you were
Cool.
trying to get through.
Just double checking.
Because it's thunder damage, it also does the damage to like the inorganic material of the ship. So
Alright, very nice. So that's 16 thunder damage, eh? To pretty much everything on board.
oh no, it's a control. I can sculpt it. So I'm just sculpting it to punch like a 5-foot wide hole into
Oh.
like the side of where Finn is.
That's really nice. So basically you imagine it, you get it to a point where the side is now soft. You haven't actually broken through, but all it would take is just like a healthy punch, and then Finn would be able to clear it like next round. So you've done very well, and that's a strong ship. Like to do that, you've got to imagine it's like rock proof to some extent. So you've done very well to sort of shatter it that way. That went really well.
You can take it from there, and then I will turn to Dwarfo. Would you mind taking the helm? And then I step over the 5-foot gap onto the other ship.
Okay, well that will be Dwarfo moves to the back of the ship, so that's all his movement, and he's still pretty close. And let's see. I'm just trying to refresh his. How do you have a long rest? Oh yeah, it's a campfire, isn't it? I'm just trying to give him a long rest.
No, it's a moon for a long rest, not a campfire.
Oh, you are viewing a read-only character sheet. Right, that explains a lot. Alright, so he is going to cast. He's going to cast Levitate on you, Duval. From there, because I think he's got really well, he's definitely so close. So he's somewhat concerned about you being in the water. So unless you resist, he's going to
No
cast
resistance.
Levitate and shift you about 20 feet up the ship.
Ooh.
And you are currently suspended there as if you're standing on like a platform, which has basically helped you out considerably because it would have been a climbing check otherwise to get out.
Oh, sure. Okay, so 20 feet up, or has he shifted me 20 feet in towards the ship itself?
Up and in, basically.
Okay.
You're basically...
20. So plonk me just next to it.
Yeah. These ships
All
are quite
right.
high, so you would still have to do a bit of climbing, but yeah, for all intents and purposes, you can just say you're on the side there.
Very nice.
If your shadow self relays back to you, then does it do that? Can you see through its eyes, or does it?
I can see through its eyes, so yeah.
Then what you see is basically 4 sort of undulating, pulsating, like almost boiling puddles of ooze on the floor, and they are making their way towards the hold, which, let me just show you where that is. It's just underneath the mast here.
Ah, right.
And you know, the hold is like that checkered looking like lid,
Mhm.
and
Yep,
it's
grated.
trying to go to the lower decks. They move relatively slowly, so they haven't quite got there yet, but that's where they're heading.
Did they look like they were damaged by the fire at all, or were they like completely heat-proof?
Yes, they didn't seem to like appreciate it. It was nominal damage compared to how resilient they are, but it definitely seemed to slow them down, and like almost like the like this, it created a crust for a moment, and that crust kind of brittly broke off, and almost just like hung there, like like crumbled away. I'm trying to think, a bit like tar, literally, like if you make pavement or like asphalt, whatever. It's like goes crispy and crusty, but it shifts from underneath the debris. It's dead stuff, and it still carried on. So yes, it was injured, but it's just kind of got a bit crusty and discarded it. And so that brings us to Finn.
I would like to climb through the hole into the ship.
Okay, just make me a strength check. Like, as long as you don't roll a 1, I reckon you can get through. Yeah. So with your insane amount of strength, you basically just like clear a hole, you scratch through, and the beautiful, warm, sort of tropical light suddenly just bursts in through the side, the hole that you've created, and you see all these very scared, chained and dirty-looking faces. All their faces are kind of like blackened, regardless of race or creed or anything like that. The one thing that really stands out is their white teeth and their like white eyes. They have been at sea for more than it is humanly humane, and they look at you with abject terror, thinking only the worst. You still have some movement, and yeah, you have some movement and a bonus action.
I still got movement and bonus action.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Rain, very much. I'm going to move below deck and basically I'm just going to be like reassuring that I mean no harm sort of thing, because I can't really do anything.
Saying
more.
anything or
It is, I am here to help. I'm here to help. What can I do to help? Besides, setting them, like, obviously setting them free is a thing. That's just a given. That's like...
They all sort of look up and down at each other, and then eventually you notice that quite a few of them are looking at one kind of slave in particular. And you notice he just holds up a hand. So there's a rattle of chains, and it holds up a hand almost to like pacify the rest. But that's all you get within your turn.
Okay.
Duval.
Alright, back to these two. So, Duval and this shadowy simulacrum, now that they're standing side by side, they look very similar. The other harpy seems to be of similar stature, but more kind of shadowy. But both of them kind of walking in synchronicity, like a mirror image, both drawing their long swords, are both going to close in on these, I think, black pudding I saw. And are both going to basically engage, and both will take one longsword attack each.
Very nice.
And actually, Duval himself will use his bonus action to use Booming Blade on his one. So the first Shadows attack, it's a 19, making it 26 to hit.
Yeah, that definitely hits. You don't have to worry so much about hitting these guys, by the way.
Oh, that's a 1, but I will use, because he's wielding two-handed, I will use my feat of great weapon fighting to re-roll my 1.
Nice.
Make that a 13 instead.
Definitely hits.
And then Duval himself, with his blade booming, don't think that's going to do it, that's a 10.
Okay. I've accidentally altered your hit points there, Duval, because I wasn't zoomed in enough, so just change your hit
Oh, no, that's
points.
right. No stress. I can fix them.
So in total, how many hit points was that you dealt out?
That I dealt out 13 points of slashing damage to this first one,
Okay. This guy.
and then the second one I swung with Booming Blade, but that was a 10, so I doubt that's going to hit.
10 does hit.
Oh, that does hit. Okay. Then let me just roll that real quick. So that is going to be 12 plus 1d8.
Of what kind of damage is it?
It is thunder damage. So that basically does 4 points of damage extra.
When it moves on its next turn, isn't it, with Booming Blade?
It's 1d8 if on the first hit, but if it moves, then it will get another 2d8 of damage on top of that.
So what you notice is the weapon attacks you made with your specific weapon actually don't seem to harm it. It's like it just kind of slaps If you've ever seen that funny goo stuff, it's like you come in to slash it, and usually like you cut into flesh with your weapon, but it just kind of stops, almost like it's rock or like a rubber, and it just kind of stops and actually does no damage whatsoever. But hammering home, the thunder shudders through the creature and sort of disorientates it and almost like disembodies it for a turn. So which one did you do the thunder damage on? Sorry, the one on the left or the right?
The one on the right.
And how much thunder damage that was?
Oh, that was 4 points of thunder damage.
Okay. So these things, whilst they're easy to hit, they take a bit of a
They're
beating.
resilient. Very good.
Okay, well, nicely done. It was a school day that day.
That's
now-
right. He wanted to get their attention, stop them from going below deck.
It's hard to tell. They have no eyes, but yeah, that moves us on to the Baron. Unless you'd like to do anything else there, Duval.
Oh no, that's it.
Okay.
That's him tapped.
Baron.
Yep, looking out.
Up.
Alright, I will take a step forward. I'll cast Hex on this guy over here.
Okay, would be nice.
And then I'll hit him with an Eldritch Blast. I'm class 11, which you know is a hit. Take 6 points of force damage and additional 2 necrotic, and then we'll hit him again. Plus 15 for 9 points, and an additional. I'll roll a d4. Let me reroll that. D5. There we go. Alright, so overall, what do we do? 6 plus 8, 8 plus 5 is 13, 13 plus 9 is 22 points of damage.
Nice, very nice. Okay, it's basically starting to look pretty bad. So, Duval, as you stand there, you notice that even from afar, the Baron slams home with his magics, and that seems to be very effective against these anomalies, creatures. That brings us to Rain. Unless you'd like to do anything else, Baron Samedi, would you like to move?
No, I'm going to move back, so I'll move back out of the way. Done.
Okay. Rain.
Do they appear to still be moving towards the hold?
That's what they did. That's what they did in their turn. Yeah.
Or do they look like they're going to engage Duval now?
Certainly. So they are quite instinctive creatures, I guess. Creatures. The one that hasn't been attacked is definitely still making its way to the hold. By all accounts, it's sort of shaped in that way. But the other three have certainly stopped in their tracks and seem to be engaging in their attackers. They obviously acknowledge these guys as a threat, and they are now responding. Except for this guy.
And the entrance to the hold is where again?
Is I'll draw it. Freehand. Here we go. Oh shit. It's basically like here. Child's drawing. Can you see that?
Oh yes. Is would the power of our ship be able to let you cast spells that say are in your spellbook but which you can't cast at that level? Like there's a 5th level spell in this fulminating tome, but obviously I can't cast 5th level slots, but the ship lets me cast as if 6th level. But how does that work?
So it would do if you were still bound to the helm. So yes, you have access to level 6 spells, and all of your known spells are cast at level 6 currently. But the minute you sort of unbind yourself from Silver, then Silver's no longer able to amplify his spells.
Yes. But the ship is also very nearby. If I sort of made my way back there, would I be able to?
100%. Yeah. If you made your way back and then bound with Silver again, then you would open up that extensive spell book.
Does Silver know spells as well, or is it just whatever spells I have, they just magnify it?
He just kind of at this stage amplifies the helmsman's spells.
I will jump across the 5th level, the 5-foot gap between the ships, and dash back to Silver and put my hand on the orb, and just sort of whisper to Duval, I don't know if this is a good idea, and then open my fulminating tome and cast Wall of Force as a sort of shimmering force field dome over the hole to block its entrance from the black sludge things.
Very nice and defensive. I like it. You were chucking fireballs 1 second ago, and now you've put a shield up. I like it. Okay, so that doesn't need to make any. There's no resistance there. That just happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a indestructible force field basically.
Excellent. It really looks like you might have just potentially saved a whole bunch of lives here, and the lives of your colleague who's underneath. Nicely done. It brings us to the oozes, which do appear to be some form of black pudding, which is the most ridiculous name for them ever. They basically, this one here they don't have very much movement, so let's just have a little look. Yeah. This one has to move around the force field and just gets to there, making a sort of sloppery, sort of slovenly sort of sound towards the Baron. Very slowly, so it's very painful for you to watch actually, Baron. You're like, oh, it's coming this way, slowly but surely. But Duval and Duval, the brothers Duval, it's going to make an attack on you. So, the one on the left will... how many attacks does it have here? Actually... It's going to hit you with its pseudopod.
Gotcha.
So, it's the first one. So, does 21 hit?
21 hits.
Take 9 bludgeoning damage and
Nice.
15 acid damage.
As soon as it hits, that apparition just vanishes. It's gone.
Oh, right. So,
I'll just plonk it over here for now.
okay. So that's taken that, and the second one goes in for an attack. And that's an 8.
An 8 is not enough to hit, so Duval's able to parry off the jello.
Okay, very nicely done, because they seem to really hurt with the acid, so it's like a digestive acid. Now, brings us to Dorful. Dorful is still manning the helm, so he can't really do anything, or is choosing not to do anything at the moment. And that now brings us to Finn, your turn. You are inside. And...
Yes. And I'm going to talk to the gentleman with the raised hand.
Okay, well, he says to sort of the other people, he says, I think it's not a ship, we're okay, we might get out of this alive. And other people just start talking incoherently. He sort of turns to you and says, why are you here?
We saw your ship and thought we could help. We are not a fan of slavers and definitely do not like the true fleet.
And he sort of looks really sort of cautious, and everyone slinks back like a little bit, kind of nervously, and they say, what of the rest of the crew? What of the true fleet? What has come of
The
it?
truth. I am not sure. The last I saw of the true fleet, they were on deck amongst my friends. I cannot say what is becoming of them. Why are they friends of yours?
No. And he quickly says, like, no, and he clenches a fist and, like, yanks his chains really tight, and a couple of the people next to him sort of move in, like, because he, loses control of his emotions. And he says, no, he says, those bastards enslave us, and they were going to sell us to the highest bidder. He says, to anyone that will pay. Truly, I think you might have saved us from a fate worse than death. I would have preferred to have died. Some crew, and he sort of points at some of the slaves here. He sort of points around, have already died, and you can see that there's some aren't moving. He says, "This is a miserable existence, and I hope you are I hope you are our saviors."
Who would you be able to help me release the manacles?
He says, "I'm bound as well," and that's pretty much all the conversation you can get out of 3 seconds.
Okay.
But you can
Alrighties.
still make an action or make a movement.
Part of me wants to use my sheer strength to break the manacles off of him.
Okay.
Like, just like pull it apart.
All right, give it a go. Do the rolls. That would basically be a strength. Let's just say it's unarmed strike. For shits and gigs.
So unarmed strike, not just a pure strength check.
Yeah, do strength.
Strength check.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a nat 1.
So you got to see it from their point of view, right? Quickly, you don't look super buff. You still look like a normal sort of water ganassi. Like, it's purely magical strength that you
little
have. So they all just kind of look at each other like, what the fuck? When you go like, and the chain just goes, shit, and like nothing really happens.
Oh, God help me.
And that brings us to Duval, unless there's a bonus action.
Alright. All good. Mine's quick. I am going to disengage now that the force field is up and these things move slow. I'm going to put some distance between us. So time for disengage, and I'm going to move the 430 back to here and sit pretty and get ready to do some range stuff.
Okay, very nice. Any actions? Bonus actions?
No bonus actions. No. Actually, bonus action. I'll bring my doppelganger back, and just oomph him into existence there.
Excellent. And is it armed with the same thing as you, like a bow and arrow?
No, it's got a long sword, but I don't believe I can throw magic through it. So it's kind of a distraction.
Okay, nice. Okay, that would bring us to the Baron.
It's gonna rinse and repeat, so I will, I'll just blast it.
Blast him.
I'm a class 14 for 6 damage.
Yes.
Do it again. I'm a class 27 for 13 points of damage.
Oh, it's looking pretty ropey.
So that's not an additional 2d6. So bear with me. So an additional 9 points of necrotic damage.
Wow. This thing
See you in hell, you bastard.
in a pretty bad way. And it wasn't lightning damage you did, was it? No, right. Basically the creature seems to be in a pretty bad way. It's definitely hardly barely moving at all, and it's like you see all these like oily tendrils trying to pull parts of itself that it leaves behind, if that makes sense. So the majority of the mass kind of keeps pulling the bits together. It's really struggling. Well done. Anything else you'd like to do there?
I'm good. Oh, you're not forgetting me. Are you forgetting me?
Yep. Okay. That would be bring us to Rain. If you're with us, Rain.
Yes. He will cast Magic Missile at 6th level. Bend the missiles around the force field, so it smacks into them.
Okay. Show me which ones you're firing at.
Let me see. I think it's 8 missiles at level 6? Or 7.
Sounds
Seven.
about right.
Oh, no, but it's 3, 4. It's 8 at 6th level. So I will do 2 missiles each if all 4 are still up.
So 2 missiles on each. Oh yeah. So, but if each one doing 8 points of damage.
I can roll for them if you want, or
Oh no, just what damage does it do?
oh boy. It's 16 plus 8, so 24.
Or take
But it's
24.
divided between them.
Ah, right. So 24
So
divided
6
by
damage.
Yeah.
6 damage.
Alright, very nice. Basically, the one that was after the Baron basically disintegrates into like a sloppy kind of mess and starts to harden. Its oily luster sort of turns a bit sort of grey and it starts to crack. And is Kakar gone. The other ones, this one still going very strong. Seems pretty healthy. The one that attacked Duval number 1 takes 6 points of damage, and this guy also takes 6 points of damage, but they look very healthy. That brings us to the slimy slimes. Now, what is interesting is from where you and your avatar both slashed at these black puddings, they both seem to sort of disintegrate and like deform and then reform and basically duplicate. And now, once where there was 2, there are now 4 slightly smaller black puddings on the ship.
Crap.
It seems like you cut them in half. Unfortunately, slashing damage is a bit of a shit with black puddings. They are going to slowly shamble. Let's just, because they really don't move very quickly. They're going to slowly shamble 20 foot. You notice as they sort of move over things like ropes and like safety boxes and barrels, that they leave like a smouldering trail, like a smouldering acidic trail behind them. It's painful to watch, but they are making their way towards you. It's like watching a swarm of ants trying to run towards you. You know what I mean? Like they're coming for you, and they're probably going to hurt, but it's just painful to watch. So that's basically their turn. But what is slightly more concerning is that there's now 4 potential threats.
All right, good. All right, what up? Dorfel next.
It would be, my bad. Dorfel, so now that Rain is at the helm, Dorfel is going to make his way to the front of the ship. He's going to come on over for a bit of fun. Because you're only 5 foot. Oh, that's a ship. He's going to jump on board and sort of looks around, readies himself, and is going to cast Thunderwave at the closest slime to him. So the one, let's see, he's moved, that's 5 foot. There, and on this guy he is going to cast Thunderbolts, Thunderwave, sorry. Oh wow, so he really hammers home with a rather hefty looking 12 points of thunder damage, which doesn't really do this guy any favours whatsoever, so -12. He's still coming for you though, and that would bring us to Finn. What would you like to do?
Just gonna like hold up a finger and just be like, 1 moment, and try again.
Like that scene from Sherlock Holmes, it's like, un moment.
Un momento.
Very nice. Yeah, that's definitely enough. What happens is they're all on there's a ring system around the outside of the ship, and you pull a good, whilst you don't break the chains because they're quite strong, the first thing to give is actually the wood that the rings are bound to, and they all just kind of go ping, 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 and a good sort of 5 of these rings come off, which starts to give them their movement, and they still have to carry the weight of the chains, but they have a lot more movement, and they sort of see it as a helpful action. Is there anything else you'd like to do? I would point out that...
Yes, can I? Sorry, no, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that if you're able to pull off all the rings, then you should just be able to loosen the chain enough for them to be free.
I can't do it again, or can I? I only got 1 action.
Yeah, no, just that 1 action.
Okay, well, I'm assuming... I can hear... Can I hear any of my friends above me?
Yes, you can hear like thunder waves happening, and cursing and stamping and fast foot movements as people are shuffling out the way, or that sort of thing. So you can hear melee.
Can I hear Deval?
Yeah, you can hear Deval sort of grunting and moaning and sort of cursing.
Swinging blades.
I'm just
and stuff
gonna-
like that.
Just gonna yell and be like, "Hey, Deval, you've got this!" And give him Bardic Inspiration.
Oh, nice.
Hey! Boom!
1d6.
It's gotta be someone you can see.
Nope. Here.
Ah.
I read it. It says here.
Stirring of words. Yeah, I can hear.
Who can hear you within 60 feet?
Oh yeah.
My apologies.
Very happy Gilmore. You can do it.
You can do
You
it.
can do it! Yep, and that is my turn.
Nice, Duval. You have bardic inspiration. You're feeling a new lease of life as you sort of realize that you sort of collect your senses. What would you like to do?
All right. I'm going to use a cantrip. So just kind of keeping my spot there, I am going to start a few somatic gestures and just use the... Oh, what would my verbal component be? Maybe just Ignis. And I'm going to let a firebolt loose. Oh. But bardic inspiration, let me re-roll that.
Yeah.
Let's give that another shot. Okay, that's better. So 19 for... How much fire damage is that? Oh, that's pretty decent. 17 points of fire damage, and I'll go for, let's say, the one that's on the far right.
Righto. Okay, yeah, it's looking pretty much worse for wear. It smoulders and sort of spits and spatters as bits of it kind of pop off, and again, like that sort of crusty form of dust just kind of is left behind. It's still slumping towards you kind of very slowly, but yeah, that seems to do a lot better than the slicing attack.
Than trying to hit it. Alright, and then the final bit, my little duplicate, my little shadowy friend, I'm just going to plonk right here in front of me.
Nice.
The decoy is going to decoy.
A shadow shield, as it were. Instead of a meat shield, it's a shadow shield.
Who knows what the hell's in there?
Awesome, awesome. All right, Baron, you are safely out of harm's way.
Alright. Baron's going to move. Yeah, being frightened to do something, so oh damn it, Wolf was in the way. That, you're just areas. Alright, I'll move the hex onto this dude here, and then I'll Eldritch Blast him.
All right.
What I was forgetting is I have a repelling blast, and it should knock him 10 foot every time I hit him. So, which is fine.
Back
So,
towards Duval.
First one. Do anything? Nope.
I didn't see anything come up.
Armor class 23,
Oh, there it is.
Here's a hit.
and let me just do next attack. Armor class 21, so takes a toe and plus an additional 2d6 necrotic. Bear with me. Oh wow. Alright, so that's pretty shitty. So take 16 points of damage all up and get knocked back to 20 foot.
20 foot. Alright, beautiful. 5,
damn.
10, 15, 20. He gets pushed back with his brothers in slime. And
He's dead. Done.
awesome. Okay, this will bring us to, I'm going to try and speed this up. Brings us to Rain.
I will, from my perch, cast another shatter at the group of split up sludges, puddings,
Okay.
which will catch them all. Let me just calculate how many d8s that is.
The ship is the best thing in the world.
Yes, 78 thunder damage. They have to make a con save.
Far out.
DC 15 con.
Oh, which it passes. They all pass and they collect it.
Okay, well they take half of 33 thunder damage.
Okay. 3, 15, 16, 17 points of damage. Wow. That works pretty well. You are a force formidable.
And I sort of whisper, "You and I will do extraordinary things."
And I have to zoom in. Yeah, they are starting to look a lot worse for wear now. Especially as I can't grab them. Yeah, they're looking a lot more crusty, and they seem to be slowing up. Varying stages of decay. This one. Okay, it's their turn. Basically, the one that was repelled, they're not, like I say, they're not the brightest of creatures. We'll move its 5, 10, 15, 20 foot back towards the Baron. But rather uncomfortably, these begin to swarm the Duval, the ghost of Duval, and sort of move around it. All going to make a black pudding attack. The average for that 6 plus 18. So, oh no, let me roll it. No, it's only fair. I'll roll the pseudopod, see what it does. So, it's the top one.
Ooh. Okay, so 16 will miss, but the 25 will definitely hit.
No, ignore that second one. They're all just going to roll the same because they all take damage the same, they all act the same. So they all basically whack past you. They're like high-fiving each other past Duval the ghost. They're like, hey brother, yeah, slap, slap. But yeah, it's a bit of a black pudding tickle. And yeah, whilst they are corrosive, nothing seems to obviously happen to the shadow of Duval. Very
Shadowy
nicely
thing can be
avoided.
tricky to get hold of.
This now brings us on to Dorfall. Dorfall is on board. He's ready, willing, and able. He's somewhat concerned about this black pudding that's coming towards him and the Baron, and he is going to cast. He's going to cast Fairy Fire on it now. So it has to make a dex save to try and miss, which it will fucking fail. Oh, hang on. Yeah, dexterity. It fails. So now you have advantage. Basically, the black pudding here is lit up like a Christmas cake.
Pudding?
Pudding.
Pudding, yeah. Yeah, it's a black Christmas pudding. And I will put a little token on him so we know that he is fairy-fired. There we go. Oh, he's not. Alright, nicely done. That's Finn. What would you like to do now?
So I'm going to get to, and we said that it was about here? One could pop up?
Yeah, that's the entry. Obviously there's a force field above, but you don't really know that unless you can see it shimmering.
Can you clean up the scribbles? Is that possible?
Yeah, I've been trying to do that, but I don't really know how to...
Who drew it?
Oh, I drew it. Clear drawings. Which is going to get rid of everything, but... There we go.
So when you say there's a force field above me,
Yeah,
It's like a dome that's
dome.
protecting that entrance.
But also, bear in mind that the hold is locked. It's quite severely locked. So you would need to break the hold. But it's all these all steps towards freedom. But yeah, there's big long bolts that maybe take the strength of 2 men to open.
or one fin.
Or one fin with your finger. But yeah, if you want to get that open, there's obviously a lock on the outside which you can't quite reach. But you reckon with a bit of brute force and a bit of luck, say the right prayers to the right gods, you might be able to
Aim
just
for the
break it.
hin. Yep, gonna aim for the hinges and have a go.
All right.
Mm.
Pretty nice. So they loosen. The screws basically come a good 3/4 of the way out, and you reckon next time round, if you really gave it some sock, you'd be able to break them off their hinges. But nicely done. By the way, some of them of the more burly and more braver slaves are starting to sort of clap and cheer you, having seen that you mean them no threat now.
Good.
Duval.
I have my entourage.
Unless there's anything else you'd like to do, that brings us to Duval.
All right, I'm gonna get on the move. Just whether or not moving from here to here to kind of further on, if that will provoke an attack of opportunity from this thing here. If so, then I'm just going to throw the disengage action in there as well.
I'm going to say the hexes don't actually line to the very bottom of the ship, so in theory you can move quite comfortably around it. I think it's only fair to say that. Yeah.
All right. So let's go. 30. Actually, let's give it a bit more shtick. So that'll be 50 there. I'm gonna come back up in this direction, and that'll do it. And I'll just leave him. I'll leave my decoy in play. He'll just stay there. I'm not gonna let him. I'm not gonna have him attack. I'm just gonna have him continue there because he can't do anything elemental.
He just like opens his hands. It's like, what the fuck? Okay, nicely done. So you've done your movement. Any actions? Any bonus actions?
No, that's it. That's it.
Sound. Baron. What's happening?
Same as before. It's a Viper's Blast along with the Hex. Do it.
So this guy's hexed now. And
Yeah.
he's fairy fired, so you get advantage on this little chap. Not that you need it.
Alright, so we say everything hits. So he takes a total of 21 points of force damage and 6 necrotic damage. He gets knocked back 20 foot.
Whoa. Minus, what was that, 6 points in necrotic?
Yes, that's correct. So 21 force, 6 necrotic, and gets knocked back 20 foot.
I mean, it's sad. You know, like you think if these things are any faster, they would really pose a threat. But the majority of it just kind of remains baked onto the deck as a tiny little, like, handful of this kind of ooze just gets knocked back 20 foot. It's a pitiful sight, and you're almost toying with it like a cat with a mouse.
Well, ask Dorful if he can get out of the bay.
Yeah. That would be Ryan's turn.
Let me take a quick measure. Oh, I can catch them all in the front in another shatter. So I guess we shall do that.
Alright, shatter them up, shatter their pants.
So let's see, they have to make a con save. So I hurl another bowling ball of lightning.
Is it lightning?
Ooh.
Or is it
Oh
thunder?
well, it's thunder damage. Ooh, that was a good roll.
Holy
Damn.
mackerel. 43 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Are you getting this guy as well, the fairy fire guy?
Yeah, it catches them all. It does it to everyone in it, so it's like to each of them.
43
Yeah.
each. They gotta make a con
Yeah.
save. And they gotta make a con save.
Alright.
Yeah, it's an AoE. So they've
So they get top one, they do 20 on their con save.
Yeah, so they pass, so they take half.
So 20.
They have to make 15.
Take 15.
They have to. It's a DC 15.
I think he's doing one roll. He's doing one roll for all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just doing one roll for all of them. Otherwise.
So they take 21 points of damage each of them.
Whoa.
Yep.
So let's see how they. Oh my god. Oh my.
Including the top one.
Yeah.
If the top one failed, it takes 43.
Yeah. Easy Connor. This one. So. They are just about standing. What you notice now, these two here are pretty much. You stick them in a high spin cycle wash, and they're gone. Their stains will be removed from the ship, but these two are still doing pretty well. That are encircling Duval Jr.
Is Finn up, like, out of the hole here? Or?
No, Finn's currently trying
Okay.
to break the lock, the big lock,
I see.
the throw bolt that's there. It's kind of blocking the hold, the manhole.
I see, okay.
Alrighty. So, Rain, your turn. No, hang on. Sorry, Rain, you've had a go. It's these guys. These guys are all basically going to attack Duval Jr. with the pseudopod.
Shadow.
For an 8.
That is not enough to hit.
It's
It's
not
a
enough.
little shadowy form manages to flicker back and forth. The pseudopod's just kind of sweeping through shadowy tendrils, but not really getting purchase.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Just basically tickle his shadow stuff. Tickle his shadow innards, and yeah, I mean he's doing pretty well. These guys can be really nasty, but in this instance, they're really shit. Dorful basically feels encouraged, and he's gonna get a little bit closer. So he's gonna go. He's gonna move to about there, and he is gonna cast Thunder Wave, which is 2d8 onto the closest one. This one here takes 15 thunder damage, which is enough to kill this one. It basically stops moving. You think for a moment that it's still alive, but then you see that luster just disappear and it becomes this grey, caked on piece of shit. Nicely done, Dorful. Even when you're not here, you're still choking up the body count. Finn, your turn.
I'm going to try my strength check again.
Go for it. Smack it
And
up.
also, I guess, you know, sort of, the guys be like, to freedom!
Unless they get melted by the pudding.
Oh gosh, I'm so...
Oh, damn.
Oh no.
Sorry, but no. It's very close, but you just hit like a normal human being then. You didn't really give it any fin tickle.
Ugh.
This thing is pretty tough. Like, it's designed to keep a horde of slaves in, so you're definitely working it free. You're getting them closer and closer to freedom.
Did I rouse them into the, like, did they start getting themselves out more again?
As you sort of look over your shoulder, they're already like 2 steps ahead of you. They're like pulling, gaining force and trying to pull at the rings to sort of free the rings from the splintering wood. Now that they have a lot more freedom of movement, they can pull together, and they're starting to try and free themselves. Yeah.
Too easy.
Is there anything else you'd like to do?
That is all, thank you.
Alrighty. That brings us to Duval.
Alright, he's going to do the same thing he did last, not the thing he did last time, the same attack. He's going to go ahead and launch Firebolt, and he's going to launch it at, well, who knows? No one, maybe, with that roll.
It hits.
Okay, in that case, he is going for one of the more hardy-looking ones.
Yep.
Let's see what happens damage-wise. Yeah, not too bad. 11 points of fire damage.
Yeah. They're looking about even now. These last two sort of remain very even Stevens. And this
Right.
one over here, there's really not much left of it. Like, it might burn a hole in your shoe. Over here. So yeah, you definitely seem to have the upper hand. You've done incredibly well for stopping them disappearing into the dark of the slaves' quarters. And yeah, we don't, unless you want to carry on, I can pretty much say you guys could mop these puddings up. Let me just see you all do like one like attack roll and see what kind of magic you pull out. And that should be enough to mop up these guys. They're just limited by the fact that they can't move very far, and you can just maneuver around them. So I'm happy to call the combat at that if you like.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I think we've got him outmaneuvered, out-tacticked.
Can't trip them down.
So as we sort of rerun the fun and speed it up a little bit, these guys basically very quickly succumb to your powers. Is it someone's dog barking? Maybe not.
Ooh.
Maybe it's you in real life.
Yeah, maybe it's my little dog.
Plot twist.
So well done, guys. You're able to obviously drop out of initiative now. Finn, you're in with the slaves, and you guys find yourself standing where you are. You've basically worked up a bit of a sweat in the tropical heat and the humidity of the day. You're on board a ship full of burnt corpses and some calcified acidic sludges.
True. If I was going to take a moment to rifle around, have a look at some of the remains of, well, what's left on deck from our previous friends, he's definitely interested. He's definitely paying attention if he can find any pole arms, things of note, and what kind of cargo, apart from the slaves, that this ship might have, and if we can if we can man it and take it with us to our next point of destination. This might be something to hawk at the pawn shop at the next port.
So, what you are able to discern is where are we? So it's a slave ship. So what happens is the slave ship's basically is just designed to be this massive vessel, this massive pod that primarily transports people. So there really isn't many lights or windows or quarters or anything like that, or any external holds. All the cargo are the slaves. Rain is the last one to bond with Silver, and through that you get the treasure sense. You're able to detect that there's there's something glowing in the very stern of the ship, I think it is, the back end of the ship. I should learn all this, but you can't really decipher like what it is. You just get an idea. You know, your treasure sense is glowing, and it's just that there's something happening there. Generally, when you've used your treasure sense in the past, it's usually been for like loot over $1,000 or something highly magical, etc., etc. But the rest of it, basically, you're faced with this ship, and Finn, I would like to say that you pretty much are able to just burst open the hold. And what would you like to do now?
I'm just gonna go amongst them, and seeing who needs help, I guess, and if needed, probably more importantly, how's my party looking now? I'm up top and I'm just like, hi, I got the people out there. Ralph, how are you guys?
It's ready to join the party, but better late than never.
Ouch.
Did you have to battle any black puddings down there or some such?
No, but I have made some new friends.
Ah, wonderful. I can give them medical attention.
That would be much appreciated, and there might be some new friends for you downstairs as well.
Ah, friends
Right,
named Jeremy.
Friends.
If I'll get a little bit of direction, you might go and check out that the glowing thing at the stern of the ship.
Okay, so that's down underneath, and there's like a little where are we? So just with the line tool. Oh my god, honestly. Crude as it is, you're basically in this back end of the ship here. There's like a small little stronghold, you know, like a little small, yeah, like too small for anything like quarters, but it's where they might sort of be carrying like a bounty to pay off someone, or if they had like a special prisoner or like a leader or something like that, they would put them in this stronghold. It's a thick sort of wooden wall with a wooden door, and then black wrought iron twisted peephole, and it looks pretty tough.
All right, Duval's he's kind of dispersed his shadow self, but he's just gonna kind of crane ahead and look through the peephole, without wasting too much time and effort on it, because he can see through it. He's just gonna manifest his shadow apparition on the other side of the door.
Nice. Like I say, as he manifests on the other side of the door, you basically see it's not ornate, it's just a very, I can't think of the right word, functional looking box that has a lock on it, and it's like looks like a very ordinary looking chest.
I should probably check it for traps before I try to force it open.
Okay, yep.
Only make sure it's not explosive.
That's are you looking with your eyes or are you looking with your hands?
Because it is my shadowy manifestation, I'll investigate. My intelligence is better than my wisdom, so I will touch.
Okay, sure. You sort of pull yourself over the chest, and there is a little kind of hook, almost like a little like a pinprick kind of thing that sticks out underneath the lock. And you notice that if you were to have knocked it, potentially something could happen. But as you've identified it, you're actually able to avoid triggering it. You've seen this sort of thing before with your sort of maritime. It's a very basic trap, it's like a full. I think they call it like a fool's finger trap, where it's basically designed to like snap off your fingers with like a blunt blade slams down and sort of takes off your fingers to. But you're able to identify it quite nicely actually with that kind of an investigation, and it's something. Obviously, it doesn't help you undo the lock, but it definitely is something to be aware of.
Very nice, and nice that I like this guy. He's like a really good version of Mage Hand. I haven't got proficiency in being able to open a lock apart from maybe blunt force. You'll check really quickly just to see if anyone's got the tools or the means to be able to pick a lock.
Full.
Dorful does.
Okay, I'll hand it over to him. maybe use my if there's a lock from the inside, undo it from the inside. Just open the door to save, kicking it in.
Yep. Yeah, that's basically just a sliding kind of. There's a key in it, so you can just unlock that. I'm trying to find his thieves tools. Let's see how he goes with this.
Memory.
No, so he sort of pretty much fucks it up the first time. So it doesn't do anything, and he's like, oh. And he goes again. Oh, much better. So on the second attempt, after cursing and swearing, he is able to sort of pop the lock, and having you sort of point out the false fingers trap, he's able to sort of avoid it and lift it up. And what you find is 1,200 gold pieces worth of copper bullion.
Oh, nice.
And the good thing about copper bullion, as opposed to gold bullion and silver bullion, is that it has a bigger market, so you can sell it to like tradies, or it'll shift a lot quicker than gold will.
It's a bit more accessible.
Yep.
Beautiful.
So, well done.
I'll relay that to the rest of the group, and maybe my shadow servant can't go too far, so I won't make him carry it all. I'll kind of haul it over to Silver and make sure that it's stowed.
So are you parading this in front of the slaves as you do this, or
Are you stealing all the slaves' money?
It's not
Definitely not their money.
It's not their money because it's not coins. It's it's bullion, isn't it? You know, where it's like blocks, ingots,
Yeah.
copper ingots.
It'll be inside it's still inside the chest, so he's just going to carry the chest and doesn't really make a combination of maritime and his demeanor. He's not concerned what they might think with him whisking it off over to the other ship.
Cool.
Fair. Now, I have a thought that part of me has been thinking all day, and not sure if this is the DM's intent or not, and we might want to consider it for next time. But we have here a whole bunch of quote-unquote slaves. Does anyone see where I'm going with this?
Oh yeah.
We also have, a town that needs populating.
We do, and we also have a new ship.
Dude, we have this ship. I can go mend the hole in the hull, and I'm sure we can sail it back. Or
Exactly.
get them to sail close by, and then we can take them there. You know what I mean.
So
Yeah.
what are you suggesting, Hannah?
I'm suggesting becoming a pirate queen, biatch.
Keeping slaves.
No,
They're
they're
not free
called-
will.
Slaves.
Free
Can they
will.
not be employees?
Yeah, it's like
Exactly.
employees. It's my entourage.
Exactly.
I'll get everyone to roll me a investigation as you start to look
Ooh.
around the ship.
Do like that one. Oh, not bad.
I'm very confused as to what's happening with my dice. No, that one's fine.
Okay.
Oh. Ren's proficiency, and it was still hit a 12. No.
I know. I nearly rolled a 13 and it was like blah.
Oh.
And I would have gotten like, a 20 on it, but
Nice. Well, I definitely say that Duval, you seem to be like a leopard prowling the Serengeti. You're really attuned to the environment. Your eyes have adjusted to the gloom. Maybe it's all this time you've spent in the Shadowfell, but you're able to come across the ship's ledger. Obviously, in the small sort of captain's quarters, kind of up on the top deck. And there's an itinerary of all the slaves, and also there's a record of the the bullion that you found as well, the ingots that you found. Under the pages of the ledger, you notice that there's on board. There's basically there's supposed to be a crew of 30 men, but there certainly wasn't 30 men on board. There was really only what you saw. So as to what happened to them, where they are, is somewhat of a mystery. So the ship was kind of listing when you saw it, although it was heading towards you. The ledger also goes on to explain that there is 155 slaves on board. And then in brackets underneath it says 1 times sea captain dash Sedge. Then it says 1 times carpenter, 1 times cook, and 1 times smith.
I'm just gonna, instead of me trying to talk to the crew or to the potential crew, I'm just gonna go and flash the ledger over towards Finn, and just nod.
You
I
also
got
notice there's a
2
baker.
of those. Can you send me a note then, so we can add it to the ledger?
Do you know what happened, right? In the throes of battle and me trying to delete that squiggle that I did, which was a pain in the tits, I actually deleted all the stuff I'd written down about what you were going to find in the ship. And then when I did that reveal with the shadow, I was like, there's fucking nothing there. So I've had, I've had to go into my notes.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was pretty devo, and that's why I was in panic stations, because I'm trying to control Doorfall and do all the rest of the shit. But yeah,
Struggle is real.
This is what you find. Let me put it here. Does that help?
Put it in the loot. Captain,
Oh,
carpenter,
yeah.
cook, smith, baker. Yep.
Nice.
I'll put it in the loot as well.
I love it. See, this is how bad I did. 1 sea carpenter. It's not quite right.
Sea carpenter. My favorite kind of carpenter.
So you get a sea captain, and there's a dash next to that, and it says Sedge. But whether that means anything to any of you, it doesn't at this stage.
Not even to me,
Sedge.
who was down there having a chat and, met them and...
Well, you never actually asked anyone's names or anything, but as obviously you are stuck on a ship and time is a healer and then the rest of it, you find out that the leader, as it were, or the one that was more prepared to protect the other people, introduces himself as Sedge. And does handle himself to some extent as a captain, whereas obviously the rest don't so much. They don't like that. They've got the sea legs. So what you find at this junction is that you have a ship that's probably too big for you to crew, but you have access to some slaves, a little bit of coin, a little bit of spendy, and obviously you are running alongside quite nicely. As long as someone's controlling silver, you're running alongside the unmanned ship. And as it's, what is that, 11 o'clock? I think it would be a good spot to leave it there, so you can decide what you might want to do next. I mean, I'll stay on, we can have a chat about it, and you can sort of talk as a group, but you can decide what kind of things you might want to do as a crew next.
Nice. Well, if we're closer to our port of destination, we can pull in there, make some repairs, talk to our new friends, get them on board. Those that want to stay can stay, and we'll be able to do some good stuff, and those who leave we'll kill. No, they're free to go if they want.
Yeah, so very good session, guys. Those black pudding, I think, drew things out a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but when they started being cut in half, I was like, oh, fuck. But that is the nature of the black puddings.
Copy paste.
But you did really well, and I have to say, I will find a way as a DM to reward you all for choosing to rescue the slaves and not just go, oh well, sucks to be them.
And sink the boat.
Yeah, or sink the boat with them in it.
Are you trying
would
to
make
encourage
Mouse
us
a
to be good?
No, you can do what you like. You can do what you like. I give you the ledgers and I give you the resources, and you can choose to do whatever you want. Like, you could train 155 people to be like drug dealers for you, or you could get, there's lots of things you could do. You could get the captain to captain a pirate vessel in your name and fly your flag, or they could run as protection. He could train them up. It wouldn't happen overnight, but he could train up them to be a pirate crew, and they could stop bringing you in a revenue. There's lots of things you could choose to do.
We could teach the
50 on
carpenter
them.
to
You
be a
don't need-
messiah.
All of them to... Oh my god. Can't even deal with that.
Yes, Rain, you will take some apprentices.
Honestly, Rain, some of them were apparently dead.
They will
DM
be his
didn't-
apprentices.
There's a good. So 3 of the slaves that are there are Jeremy's currently. So whilst there was
So 3 of-
155,
3 dead.
there's 3 dead.
D-E-D dead.
So there's 150 slaves. Is that what?
55.
There's 155 slaves. 3 are dead, and then the remainder is 1 baker, 1 smith, 1
Yeah.
cook, carpenter, and a captain.
Wow.
Yeah, we hit the jackpot. Because part of me is thinking we can start populating the town a bit. Because I don't see why we can't, do this properly and we get them working for us. So they'll
Well,
start,
I mean,
running the
There might be
town.
times- There might be times that we have to pull them back in. If they get a little bit ambitious, they might have to be made an example of.
Look,
Three
there's
strikes
benefits.
and your head's off.
There's benefits to going legitimate. Empires are built upon wizardry of the financial kind.
So am I the carrot and you're the stick?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll also point out that you have a whole shit ton of emerald ore in which you have no real means to extract. There's, like I say, there's many things that you could do, and if you do the right thing, you can make yourself potentially rich. But it's all up to you. If you want to be pirates, then with it comes the notoriety. Or if you want to be merchants, then you've got to make the right contacts as well as having the wares. You know what I mean? There's going to be lots of things. So once you share with me ideas that you want to do, and I hear discussions, then
Hey, I want to be a pirate lord of the 7 seas.
it'll happen.
Yeah, we just gotta toe the line. We can be pirates, but don't get too notorious, because then we get into trouble.
No.
Rain is just interested in gold for experiments and research.
Enough power that it doesn't matter about getting in trouble or that because
Be nice.
we're just that good
I like
and
it.
that powerful that people don't mess with us.
Great stuff.
Perfect.
All right, well, I'm just going to go and grab a beer. Like I say, I'm going to be on for a bit. And if you want to hang around and talk about what you want to do, like I say, I can progress things just a little bit more if you like. So there's a lovely picture. Let me end it with a lovely picture. Look, how about that? Progress to the next part. No, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there on the ship. How about that? Because I want to know what you want to do with the ship before we progress.
I'm gonna fix the hole created in the side of the ship.
Oh yeah,
Okay, so you're going to do
That's
some
just-
running repairs?
it's definitely
Yes,
gonna get
a
repaired.
combination of the mending spell and my own ability as a shipwright.
Okay, what is that wisdom, did you say?
I didn't say anything.
Uh,
But yes, you were correct. I originally specified that vehicles water was a wisdom-based thing.
yeah, so that... Roll me a wisdom check. Oh, shit, man.
Oos.
It's
Nice.
a 19.
So that's
Plus
24.
5.
So what I'm gonna
Yeah.
say is
Can't make a fucking look, but I can fix the ship.
make so you can't do this on your own. So back it up with a charisma roll.
You don't want me to cast my spell as well?
Persuasion, like a persuasion. Mate, roll me persuasion.
Persuasion, disgrace for shame.
Right.
Nope.
So, whilst the work that you do is just by your hand only, you aren't able to convince anyone else to give you a hand. So, you are able to patch up the ship 120 hit points, because that's going to be half of the 240 that you might have been able to get if people are on board. So you are probably able to patch that ship up as good as new. Looking at it.
Well, we'd get it back to a port and do proper repairs, but basically 120s and up would be enough to just get it
Keep it
back to a
in place.
port.
Yeah, let's see. Hull. Yeah, it might just be enough. Yeah.
Cool.
Basically, this ship's stats, because you'll probably want them. Do you want me to write them down, or shall I just tell you them?
Or you can do what you did with a silver and do the doc, which then has the link
Oh yeah.
in the ledger.
Yeah, no worries. All right. Well, I'll do a little bit of housework. Have some time to think about what you want to do. I'm going to go and grab a beer. Like I say, I'll be online for a bit, but if anyone needs to leave, then I'll see you next
Yeah,
time.
I'm gonna go get some shut-eye.
Does
Thanks,
Vanita
Si.
gin?
It was lovely.
My pleasure. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Ciao, crewmates.
Pleasure as always.
All right,
That was fun.
I'll be back in just a sec.
Alright, y'all. Good night.
Bye bye.
See you probably not tomorrow, so next week, I guess.
Oh, I'll be
Yeah.
going tomorrow.
I shall see you tomorrow then, Isaac.
Alright. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get away for it, but we'll see what happens. Never know what'll happen. Fingers crossed.
Ciao.
If not, I shall see everyone next week.
Yes.
Dun,
Next
dun.
Are we gonna do your campaign? Continuing the
Yeah, we're
oh boy.
continuing on with the monster mash.
We did the mash. We did the monster mash. The monster mash.
mash. It was a graveyard smash.
Do you need anything else about the caller? I can work on. But
Oh. I think the patron was absolute gold. I like
Yeah.
the patron. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to work with.
yeah.
Wait, do I need to know this?
No, it's all good. We're just going through some bits and pieces for the caller, because she's a warlock. She's got a patron, but she's celestial, so it's not your usual warlock patron.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, a little bit more fun.
Dun dun dun.
Oh yeah. Reminds me, I got to figure out some more stuff for the Raven Queen as well. All
Oh,
these
God.
warlocks, I don't know. It should be good. Hopefully everyone makes it out alive out of this next session, but I've got my doubts.
I feel optimistic. I mean, we're pretty awesome as a group, and
And I think as soon as the teamwork kicks in, I think the tide's going to turn pretty severely.
what do you mean?
Oh, in the group's benefit. It just feels like at the moment it's at a tipping point. Things could go okay-ish until there's some success, or people die. People die, and then something happens and get out of the other side. For the better or the worse.
Well, sadly, this character, if it dies, it just dies. It is human.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Could be
Hopefully-
resurrected.
Hopefully it's okay.
Yeah. I have
But it will be
plans. I
fun.
want to see Lara out.
It's good. No, she hasn't been targeted by anything just yet, so yeah.
She's just an adventurer. She just wants to rush ahead and find everything possible.
It's exciting. What if you
Kind of
find all
mid-
the things? What if find all the things?
Oh god.
Yes. Oh god. Hmm?
I kind of miss Valletta a little bit, but I also really enjoy like summoning things because I've never been able to do it before.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
like,
great.
Nice being able to kind of point Olga around and just go smash that, and
Yeah.
go hit that, and kill that.
And like the
Summoning
Cola
is pretty
wants
awesome.
that tome. She wants that tome so bad.
It is very, very tempting.
The what?
The tome that the Drow, the ice-strapped one, is holding, and basically used to summon a Maralith. So it's going to be pretty gnarly.
Oh yes, sorry, I remember now. It took a moment. Brain resetting. Gotta get it out of engineering crap.
Engineering brain is turned on.
I get tempted every now and then to do work at home just so I can get it all done. Keep forgetting that it's still there'll be something else when I turn up to work anyways.
Always, always.
Uni brain.
Yep. Alright peeps, well I better go and hit the hay. Go check on the little one and go get some sleep.
Alright, my dude, thank you so
No,
much.
Oh, thank you. That was awesome. That was good fun.
Well, yeah, you've got more ships than you know what to do with now.
That's it. Now I'm just gotta... First you get the ships, then you get the money.
Hey, this is interesting because like Finn wants to be Pirate Queen, but Rain wants to go legit. Rain is just like, we have to run the beginnings of a business empire. I could do so many experiments with this money.
To be legit, but like Pirate Queen, ruler of the Seven Seas. It's just
As
my
long-
name is iconic. My name is Finn Wainwright. I mean,
That's just gonna get etched in some
take your ship
journals
and
somewhere.
go through and you plunder whoever you like, as long as it doesn't come back to bite me. I really don't care.
do you say I can
Just-
plunder whoever I like? Cause did you miss that? I already did that.
I just
No
want my
shape
money.
water. I'll never look at you the same again.
Oh dear. Yeah, like my first Tempest Cleric sort of villainess, she was like very good with weapons. She was great fun as well. Oh. Yeah.
What is it? No, see, I like the whole bard thing because what is it? Someone else I know, they were telling me how yeah, my other DM named Cam was saying how Wizards of the West Coast is very over-sexualized, like, and not Wizards West Coast, like D&D in general is like over-sexualized, a lot of it, and that's the whole point. One of the worlds is, and it's meant to be. Yeah. He's yeah, a big lore person, so he's read a lot of the lore, and apparently one of the original creators wrote it in there that, like, you know, horny bards is it's just normal.
It's just normal. Well, it
In
is a
fact,
bit of a fantasy trope, so yeah.
Well, in fact, it's weird that more creatures aren't doing it.
Just saying, you know, dragons need loving too, and if you've got high enough persuasion.
You
How
got
do you think
dragon
come
to
about?
bed.
Exactly.
Well, Rain thought a certain Dampier was kind of cute, but then he went up and disappeared in the Shadowfells.
Rain was like, oh, hello. Oh, this one's. Oh, for fuck's sake, it's dead already. God damn it.
Cock blocked by
It
the
was already
Shadowfell.
half dead. It was fantastic. It's like a match made in heaven for Rain.
Now you need to look for another Dampier.
Damn
Another,
it.
more emo Dampier boys.
To add a dash more edgelord and a little bit of goth.
Actually, I was actually gonna do where like the caller when she has a short rest, she just like summons a succubus and it's just like do not interrupt us for the next hour. It's just we are going to discuss demonology in my tent.
Awesome. I love it. Oh dear. Alright, peeps. Yes, I'm gonna go. I keep getting distracted. Alright. Good night. all.
So does Vanita drink gin?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Is there any alcohols you don't drink?
Not a fan of tequila. That will probably gather dust.
I don't know many people who drink tequila for fun.
No. We love a bit of gin. That's definitely our go-to spirit. I obviously like a bit of rum, but Vanita and I both like gin. That's a good choice.
Yeah, what should I bring to this housewarming? Like anything like cheese and dip or cheese and chips?
Yeah, just a little something just to fill it all out. I've been soaking the wood chips in red wine, so they'll be soaked overnight. So when I come to smoke, the smoker will be like a red wine infused smoke.
Yes.
I bought $60 worth of brisket, which I'm going to be putting in the smoker. So there'll be some nice sort of, and I got a really nice rub, which Vanita has kindly put on for me while I was doing this. So that's sitting in the fridge marinating overnight, and then I'll put that in the slow smoker tomorrow, and we'll have some nice beef brisket, smoked beef brisket.
That sounds yum.
So maybe bring, just like, don't go nuts because otherwise everyone will bring it, but just like some bread rolls maybe is something we could use. And like if you want a bit of salad or anything like that, whatever you fancy really, just like some chips and dips, it's all good.
I went to an Easter barbecue with my family, so I definitely I can definitely do salads and whatnot.
Oh, cool. I'm just.
There's so many different kinds of gin.